someone deprived you of love. Yeah, someone deprived you of love. That thing that everybody needs. They just deprived you. You could have been in a household of siblings. Maybe you had, 3 other siblings. And you were just the one that was deprived of love. Now, they weren't necessarily loved all that well, but you were at the bottom. You were like the stepchild. That's how you were treated. You were just deprived. It was probably by your mother. There could be a whole host of reasons why this happened. But at the end of the day, everybody in that household deprived you of love. They were cruel to you. When you needed shelter, they didn't give it to you. You were probably left out in the cold a lot. If you had to give up your child or anything like that, anything involving a child, losing your child, you didn't have anyone there to help you. You had to live on the street sometimes. You had to live in abandoned buildings. Or you had to live with friends. You were alone. And that's what that somebody who was depriving you of love wanted you to feel and go through. They were just cruel to you. And so as you grew and you matured and you were able to get into relationships, you got into the worst kind. And it wasn't your fault. It was because that person who deprived you of the thing that you needed the most, love. You were deprived of love. See this person in this picture? They're beautiful. That's the interesting thing. You're a beautiful person. You're gorgeous. But you never saw that. Other people did and still do, frankly. But we'll talk about that towards the end. But right now, you need to feel that pain and know that you didn't do anything to deserve it. You were a good person. But because you were deprived of love, you didn't think you were worth anything. And so you walked through life feeling like you weren't worth anything. So the relationships that you got into were likely abusive. They may still be. Or you may have gotten into so many abusive relationships that the last one you got out of, you swore you would never date anyone again. But why would you do that to yourself when you deserve love? You are so beautiful inside and out. You cannot deprive yourself of love. Because you went from someone depriving you of love to you depriving yourself of it, locking yourself away, not being open to anything or anybody. You just shut down. When you're so deserving of love, you're kind, you're caring, and you can read people like a book. And this person that is still trying to deprive you of love and trying to hurt you, it's like the sun is shining down on you and you recognize them for what they are. They are their cruelty. They are who they are. But you need to know and understand that they are the very reason why you don't have love in your life right now. They did so many cruel things to you. And if this is a family, it's your mother. She did so many cruel things to you, and she allowed her other children to do the same. She allowed her other children to be cruel to you. Maybe you were just the innocent one. Maybe you were the emotional one. Maybe you were the one who exuded love. Because that's what I pick up from you. You are love. You are just walking love. And don't you ever forget it. And I think you're coming to that realization. So if we fast forward to today, you are beautiful. You are a very good looking person. I don't care what age you are. You are probably aging very well, because that's God's way of saying you can't get old until you get love. You're not going to be old because now is your time. Just don't even worry about that person. You probably aren't even around them. You likely knew enough to stay away from them. It could be your family. You knew well enough to know that you needed to steer clear of them because they were cruel to you. You may have even had a sibling, a sister likely tell you, "I'm so sorry I was cruel to you." You may have even had that happen, or you're going to, because they know their blessings are so limited because of how they treated you, the baby sister, the best friend. I don't know. For many, I just get this is family dynamics. And don't you ever think for a second that you did anything to deserve what they dished out to you. They don't have the capacity to love. They never did. But they need to come to terms with what they've done. It's very important for them to do that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But what you need to know in this story is you're an amazing person. You're a beautiful person. You're a loving person. You're a caring person. And what the cruelty of your mother and your sister and your brothers, the cruelty that what you took away from that, instead of you being cruel yourself, you did the complete opposite. And you came with love, even when people were mean to you. Because see, and I'm not just talking about those family members, the mother and the father and the sister and the brother. I'm not even talking about them. See, people can detect when you are a certain type of person, somebody that is looking for love in all the wrong places. People will prey on that, just even everyday people, because you're willing to do so that you can, in exchange, get love. See, for you, it's transactional. If for you, it's like, well, if I do this for this person, they'll love me. It's your desperation that you put out into the world. And so that's what you brought in. You can't do that anymore. You're not desperate. Frankly, you hold all the power. You are an amazing person and so special to God. Those people, they might read the Bible front and back, but they are not special. But you are.